everyone. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Yes, today is Freestyle Friday. And as you can see, I have a great panel of individuals here with me. How are you all today, Greg, Vera, and Joseph?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Kim.
Excellent.
Good morning. We're going to have a great time. Listen, everyone, grab your virtual seats and quickly grab them because we have a lot to discuss today on Freestyle Friday. Tag your friends, your family, your coworkers, and let people know that the Kim Jacobs Show is here on the air. And you're going to hear some pretty phenomenal information today. So start telling people to tune in, tag people, tag at least 5 people when you join into your virtual seats. You know how when you first get into a show and you're like, okay, wait, I'm trying to get in the door myself. Now you're in the door, you're in your seat. Now it's time to invite some friends. Go ahead and invite some of your friends, family, and your coworkers to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
All right, everyone, welcome back. And yes, we are going to kick the Kim Jacobs Show off with Mr. Joseph Wooten first, and then he always closes us out with a nice song as well. So excited to have you in today, Joseph, and we're going to kick this whole show off with you right now. How are you?
Right. I'm doing very well.
But let me let people know who you are first, because some of the people on, I'll be doing all these elaborate bios, and I didn't introduce who you are. Joseph Wooten, first of all, if you've ever heard of the Wooten Brothers Band, this is the man that is a part of the Wooten Brothers Band. They were on Whitney Houston's albums and all kinds of things that they have done that are memorable back in the day things, and they're still kicking it strong. He's also a historian, and he's also a political activist. And a lot of the information he shares is just super enlightening information. He's married, family man, and just overall great gentleman to know. Joseph Wooten, welcome.
Thank you very much. That was a nice intro. I'm also the keyboard player for the Steve Miller Band.
The Steve Miller Band, that's right.
Yes.
Steve Miller Band. He's very proud of that too, and everyone knows about the Steve Miller Band.
I got to remind myself to say Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted Steve Miller.
That's right.
Yeah. Huge.
So y'all go ahead and tell everybody that's anybody to know that one of the members of the Steve Miller Band is right here on the Kim Jacobs Show right now. Go ahead.
But we're gonna well, I guess it's kind of along the same lines. A lot of times I like to look and see what happened on this day in history. And a couple of interesting things. We just came out of the month of the woman in March.
Yeah.
In 1917, on this day, Jeannette Rankin became the first woman member of Congress. She was elected to the House of Representatives. In 1917, the interesting thing is women didn't get the right to vote until 1920.
I know.
So she was elected before women had the right to vote, which is that's an interesting dynamic right there.
And her name is Jeannette Rankin.
Yes, Jeannette Rankin.
Here's an image of her as well.
She
looked like she was about her business too. She like,
for sure.
Yeah, it looks like she knew that she couldn't vote too. I can be in Congress, but I can't vote. She's looking like,
what am I here for, right?
Yeah. It's like, y'all know you're wrong. Anyway, on April 2nd, 1866, 17th President Andrew Johnson, after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, ends the Civil War, not in every single state, but in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. We know that it didn't end in Texas until June 19th, aka Juneteenth. Black people didn't find out that slavery was over that they were free actually until June 19th.
Wow.
But those are the two interesting things that happened in history on this day, a couple of them. But I wanted to talk about music. I wanted to talk about music and how music's function to help not just Black people, but to help everybody. It starts when slaves come over at that transatlantic passage. A lot of that singing that was in the belly of the ship is what Amazing Grace was written.
Yes.
Amen.
And there was a certain scale that Black people would use. We now call it the pentatonic scale. They didn't know what to call it then. That's just how they sing. And all the Negro spirituals of those days use the same scale. Like every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Right?
Yes.
And that literally was known as the slave scale for a while. That's what came out. Music changes with the times, and eventually, as things got harder here, the scale added a note. Instead of it being this, it added a note. Right? And from there, now people are singing gospel and expressing themselves with a bit more, whatever that word is.
Go ahead.
Right? Is a little more soulful. From that, you get gospel, and we know the great gospel singer. Add rhythm to that, eventually we start to get gospel starts to boogie a bit more. Which wasn't looked on that fondly by a lot of people that were used to spiritual music. Little Richard, that's the birth of rock and roll, right?
Wow.
And what was these songs of hope and toil now were a bit rebellious too.
Right.
From that rebellion eventually comes funk music. Funk music is three things: it's rhythm, harmony, and melody. Funk is a rhythm-based music that really wasn't about the struggle. Funk really was about freedom. If you think about name funk songs, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself.
Yes.
Soul Power. Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud.
Wow.
Right? Funk music is a free man's music. If you've ever watched a person play funk bass, you even stand up straighter, right? You even stand up straighter to do it. You even poke your lips out at like I'm here. It's not the music saying, Master was so rough to me.
Right.
It's just saying we're not there anymore. It's a free man's music.
Wow.
The good thing about music is that music, we sense it in our soul, that music represents a path forward for things that are different. I remind people, like if I play, I make music from that, but this is what I have to work with. Right? What I have to work with is a mess, but it's a mess with potential that's not beautiful until I apply some intelligence to it.
Wow.
Right? Now, I can't just sit behind the keyboard and make music because my intentions are good.
That's right.
It requires me to know some things. It requires me to have a feel for the people I'm getting ready to play music for. Music is a path forward for all of this tension. So there's a lesson to be learned there. And the lesson is we put on our headphones and we enjoy music. We get behind the keyboard and we enjoy making music. We take our headphones off and we walk away from the instrument and we forget all about it, when we should continue to make music with our lives. And the point that I'm making is that when we step off of the instrument, we should still be trying to find a path forward for our intentions, right? But instead, too often, We step away, and hypothetically, that person voted for this person and you voted for this person. And now instead of trying to find a path forward, we're trying to make the other person wrong.
Wow.
Right. And if instruments did that, we'd never get music. You know what I mean? So the point that I'm making is that music is life. We recognize that music is life as it's supposed to be. And my reminder to people is in life, as best you can, do your best to continue to make music with other people.
Yes.
With other people. And so this is my final music analogy, because I get talking on this and I get going too long. But if you think about this, like this is tension, right? That's not really musical. This is a G and an A flat. If one of these notes moves up, takes the high road, right? Now we have more of an opportunity to make music. Here we don't have that. And it's just because both of them are too low. Neither one of them decides to take the high road.
That's so good.
Music is a teacher. Music is a teacher. We feel that music is life as it's supposed to be. Once we take the headphones off or step away from the instrument, then we have to go do that thing that we enjoy listening to, right? So when you feel this tension, remind yourself, somebody take the high road. This note it's still the same note. It's just a higher version of that note. And if somebody takes the high road, it doesn't guarantee that you'll make music or create harmony, but there's a better chance to make harmony from this than there is from this, right? So music is a path forward. Music helps us feel that path forward. We got to continue to remember. We need to remember to continue to make music when we take the headphones off. It can't always be done. A police officer can't make music, right? A police officer is in protection mode. If you're protecting your kids, you can't make music at that point. You just got to keep somebody safe. But most of us aren't in that mode. Most of us aren't soldiers, policemen. You know, we're just coexisting. And music gives us a pathway. Music has always led culture. In fact, when the Beatles used to come to the United States, the Beatles had in their contract, if the audience is segregated, we're not playing.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Music made them ahead
Beautiful.
of the times.
Beautiful.
During segregated times, Little Richard's music was so good, James Brown's music was so good, they'd have segregated crowds, and the crowds would jump over the barriers anyway to dance with each other, because that's what music does. If there's a tool for peace, the strongest tool for peace that we have is music. It gives us endurance. People sang their way out of they marched and sang their way out of the civil rights movement. They sang their way through the endurance of something as brutal as slavery. They couldn't chant their way out of it. They sang their way out of it. So there's something in music that sustains us. It teaches us. It moves us forward. And it gives us a path to do something constructive with our differences.
Wow. Very,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
very,
Thank you.
very enlightening information.
Yes.
I love it.
Hey, we need
Listen.
we need to be enlightened.
Yeah.
We need to be enlightened these days. We're on the edge of something good. Potentially, if we get this moment right.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
People are listening. Finally, more people are starting to listen to the plight of people of color, not just Black people. Asians are getting it too. And when we talk about whomever it is, we almost never bring up Native Americans who got it first.
Yes.
Right.
But music helps us feel what we're supposed to do if we just continue to keep making it once we take the headphones off.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
Beautiful.
listen, you hear why we have Joseph Wooten come on, and we have a variety of experts that come on every Friday, all different
Great.
walks of life, ranging from health, wellness, to credit repair, to housing, real estate, you name it. But Joseph comes on, and he's our historian, and he's also our music expert. And we are so glad to have you on this Friday, Joseph Wooten. How can people stay connected with you on social media?
You can go to josephwooten.com. You can find me on Facebook. My fan page is Joseph Wooten, Hands of Soul. Hands of Soul is my nickname. Or you can just, you'll see a picture of me and my wife on my personal page. Also have a charity called I Matter, You Matter. So there's I Matter, You Matter page on Facebook. You can go to imatteryoumatter.com on the internet. And Steph, I think forget anything? Oh yeah, that's right. And I have a book.
His wife is standing there helping him. She's like, I'm trying my best, sweetie. I'm trying to make you look good. Hurry up and do everything I'm saying.
But yeah, but essentially I'm trying to make life better as best I can with a very powerful tool of music that doesn't hurt anybody. Music doesn't hurt anybody. The worst thing that can happen is like, that's not my song, right?
Right.
Yeah. But nobody gets hurt.
Well, that is incredible information there. You've heard it from Joseph Wooten, a member of the Rock and Roll Inducted Hall of Famers, Steve Miller Band, and a part of the Wooten Brothers Band. Thank you so much for being here today. I will just I definitely will infuse a few things that's happening this week in our weekly updates. Thanks so much, Rachel, for taking care of making sure we're educated from a community worldwide perspective, everything that's going on across the land. But a New York judge New York offers immediate vaccines to inmates immediately, according to a judge making a ruling. And that article is in your comment section. So you'll be able to go back and look at those comments throughout today's broadcast or later in your free time. But that is something that also happened. And Pfizer says its COVID-19 vaccine is 100% effective in children ages 12 to 15. So that's some new enlightening information that we found out this week that I was unaware of, because I know I have younger children as well that I thought couldn't get the vaccine. So for those, especially with this show being about balance and how you're balancing different aspects of your life too, this is something that's new information that's been revealed this week in the news. Also keep in mind, even though it's the summer, it's the spring-like season out here, there is a winter-like wind chill in the spring expected for the Northeast and the South area. So keep that in mind. We'll put these articles in the actual comment section and where they came from, but this came from ABC News, and there's a whole update on the winter-like weather, and you'll have that in the updates as well. Oh, and just on a side note, Tesla first quarter sales of 185,000 more than double last year's numbers. So even though the pandemic is happening and so much has kept us away from each other, it hasn't kept us away from some of the car dealerships. So keep that in mind. All right. So those are just a few things. Oh, is it Travis or Treve? Is it Treve or Travis? Travis. Okay. I'm going to pull you in. Okay. All right. I don't like to pull people in without letting them know. How are you, Travis?
I am doing well. Hi, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
So glad to have you on as well. So listen, we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to let's go to Vera. How about that? We're going to get to know Vera Thomas here. Vera Thomas relocated to Georgia from Lexington, August 5th, 2018. She is a certified family mediator, classroom management advocate, mediator, trainer, speaker, and poet. Wow. She works with parents, schools, organizations, and churches. Vera's life story directed her towards work with organizations that provided hope and empowerment to people like her to better themselves. It's her goal to help others overcome a circumstance that diminishes and help them to surge ahead with their dreams. It is to that end that she is against all odds, completed a degree from Walsh University in Canton. She graduated cum laude. Her work with companies and organizations spurred her on to acquire a master's degree in organizational management. She's worked as a facilitator trainer that spans more than 3 decades. OMG, she has been an after-school provider in Akron, Ohio, artist in residency, keynote speaker, you name it. She has done it. She has also worked with children and adults in areas of self-esteem, confidence, career planning, career life planning, poetry, And she has lots of projects that she's working on as the logistics coordinator for Famed Fathers, a 5-county fatherhood initiative. Wow. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't just cut somebody's
Fantastic.
eye off.
Yeah.
Right?
Fantastic.
Spearheaded the process. Let me see what else here. Countywide mobilization to make systemic changes to address fatherhood issues. Your efforts have gone to 500 dads taking children to school and engaging administration to over 6,000 fathers. I'll let you speak more about that yourself because this is pretty amazing. But you've also worked for other companies who want to transform their teams and individuals to help transform their lives. Vera Thomas, welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. Now we have our normal experts that come on, but today you're a special guest here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So welcome, Vera.
Thank you so much for having me. And the Fatherhood Initiative, I was involved in that while I was in Ohio. And it was the minister of the church that I belong to, he was the actual founder of the Fatherhood Initiative in the Akron, Canton, and 5 other county area. And Cleveland had contacted him to spearhead and to coordinate the Father's Walk. And he came to me and said, Vera, I want you to organize this. I had 3 weeks. And within that 3 weeks, 500 dads took their children to school, and the administration engaged those fathers and talked about how they could be more involved in their children's lives. And the next year we had 2,400 dads. The next year we had 4,000 dads. The next year we had 6,000 dads. And the last year that I did it, we had over 10,000 dads that took their children to school. I had written a poem for fathers that the city of Akron commissioned and gave to each dad. I'd like to share that with you.
I would love for you to share that with us right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Take it away, Vera.
Father, provider, protector, role model for a son. The image of the man that will be the husband of your daughter when that time comes. What's best for your children should be concern number 1, regardless of the obstacles a father must overcome. Sometimes the injustices of our society towards many of our fathers can make it hard to stand, but you got to stand. And be a man and a father to your children in every way you possibly can. Demonstrate their worth through you by the words that you say and the things that you do. Don't ever put your children down or call them out of their name. They may become whatever you claim. Lift them up to higher ground. Let their inner beauty be seen, be found. Show them and tell them how special they are. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light to take them far. Show them and tell them how much you really care, and let them know no matter what, you will always, in all ways, be there. Pray that our fathers will be guided by the light to lead their children in the ways that are right.
Wow.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Vera, because everybody wants to tag a father and hear that poem again, right? If you want to tag a father and hear that poem at the end of today's broadcast, put a 1 in the comments, because what I'm going to do at the end of the show is I'm going to have Vera say that same poem again and have Joseph play over Vera. And then we're gonna remove all of us from the screen, and I'm gonna put Vera and Joseph. I think I can do that. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put Vera and Joseph on there, and we're gonna put at the bottom a special poem for fathers by Vera Thomas, played by Joseph Wooten. Right? That's exciting. That same poem again. Joseph, get your mind right, because you're going to close out with the song under, and this is going to be everything. So everybody take, right now, let me just take this right now, 30 seconds. Just tag a man and tell them, if they are a father, that there's something special happening that's just for them to uplift their spirits in this broadcast. 30 seconds. Go tag some.
Wow.
Yes, we are back. I'm tagging my own brother, at least. I'm tagging somebody. Okay. I'm excited about that poem. That right there was very inspiring.
Thank
So
you.
Vera, talk to us about some other things you have going on. I know you're a speaker coming up at an upcoming conference. Tell us about that as well.
I am so excited about that. I will be presenting at the Level Up International Conference on the 16th through the 18th. My presentation is focused on how the things that we do that can destroy a child's self-esteem. And there are 4 things that I talk about. There are many, but 4 things that I address. 1, yelling and screaming at kids, the impact that can have on a child. It can cause depression. It can cause headaches, stomach aches, anxiety, all kinds of problems. As a matter of fact, there was a study that showed that juvenile arthritis can be contributed to a kid constantly being yelled at. The other is parents making a child feel guilty and making them, the guilt is causing them to do the things that the parent wants them to do. Using sarcasm when talking to a child. A child doesn't know that you're just using sarcasm. They're taking it to heart. And the other is comparing your children to comparing each other. That can really create a problem. And the other is always throwing back in their face what they did yesterday, what they did a week ago, what they did a year ago. Each day is a new slate. Each day is a clean slate. And we need to treat each day with our child as if yesterday never happened. And I'm not saying that I never yelled at my son. I was a single mother after a divorce. I left my husband when my son was 6 months old because of abuse. And I raised him as a single mom. He's old now. He's 36 and actually 37, will be 37. And I'm telling you, having known, I yelled at him, but then when you know better, you do better. Right. And so when I learned the impact that I may be having on him by yelling at him, I had to calm myself. So how do you stop from yelling at a kid? First of all, we know when we're getting ready to get riled up. We already know it. And so what we need to do is
you get heated in the chest, yes, right?
Yes. And so it's best to just calm yourself. What I have found, saying peace, be still, peace, be still, that helps. Sometimes the situation may need you to just step back and say, okay, we're going to deal with this later because I can't talk to you right now. And so we'll need to deal with this later instead of me going off and yelling at him. And so those are some of the things. I was very involved with an after-school program where I had children. My flagship show program was called Poetry and My Vision. And that's where kids would write their thoughts about things that were going on in their lives. And they could either write songs, short stories, poems, raps. And then I taught them presentation skills. And they also did vision boards. And the video that I shared with you, Kim, is kids actually saying the poem that goes throughout every program that I do, even with adults. And so
I'm going to play that. Play that. You want me to play that now?
Yeah, go ahead. Play that.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
To accomplish a task. There's no need to ask. My greatness. When I allow
Phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me say this. I have such a heart for children and parents, because parents, a lot of times you can't teach what you don't know. And there's a lot of times that parents are coming into parenthood with so much baggage and so much hurt and so much bitterness that it impacts on their children.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I've created a program called Instilling Greatness in Myself and My Children. One of the questions I often ask parents is, what do you wish you had been told as a child? I get all kinds of responses. Things including, I wish I had been told I love you. I wish I had been told you're special. I wish I had been told you're doing a great job. Well, if parents didn't receive that kind of nurturing as a child, how are they going to instill that in their children? And so my programs are geared to help lift the family and lift the children. And when my son was 4 years old, I was a single mom getting ready for work, and I must have snapped at him or something. And he looked at me with these big eyes and he's like, why are you so mean to me? And that just hurt my heart. And so shortly thereafter, I sat down and I wrote this. Do I have time to share it?
Let's see. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Share it.
All right. Children are people too. Show them the good inside of you. Give them praise for tasks they do. See their light as it shines through the light which comes from inside of you. Children need all we desire so much: the love, the hug, the kiss, the tender touch. The attitudes we express to them are the messages they learn to send. From examples like you and me, our children grow to be what they see. Do you show hatred, indifference, or love? Do you yell and scream no matter what in spite of? Have you shared kind words with your child today? Have you truly listened to what they had to say? Or did you just ignore and continue on your way, hoping they get the message and go somewhere and play? Children are an extension of all that we are, and the most valued God-given gift by far. There are so many things they must grow to understand. We must guide and lead them with loving, outstretched hands. Teach and treat children as people too. See their light shine bright through the light which comes from inside of you.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Right.
Love it.
Thank you. And all I can say is, to God be the glory. You know,
Wow.
to God be the glory.
Yes.
Wow. How can people stay connected with you, Vera?
Well, I have a podcast every Tuesday at 7 p.m. that shows on Facebook and YouTube. I also have a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel is V Thomas 1117. But you can hit me up on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter, but I don't get on Twitter as much not much at all. And I also have an Instagram that I need to set up. So Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn are the three main areas that you can reach me.
Okay. Facebook. I want to put that. I have it here. Vera.Thomas.779, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to put this up for you guys. So make sure you stay connected with Vera Thomas. And here's her YouTube channel is V Thomas
1117.
Oh, 1117. Let's move that back off the screen. We're going to retype that then. Okay. So YouTube, because we want to make sure you guys, especially even the listeners that are on our podcast, that you actually get it as well. So that's why I spell everything out.
Thank you.
Sometimes they are listening on iHeartRadio 11 and then 17. Okay. Or on Facebook. Facebook is Vera.Thomas. .779, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. You definitely want to stay connected with Vera Thomas. Here's some ways that you can do that is YouTube. Go and subscribe to her YouTube channel, V
Yes,
Thomas
please.
1117. 1117, or on Facebook at vera.thomas.779. All right, Vera, thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Get your mind right for the end of the show to do that poem again.
Okay.
All right, we are going to go now to Greg Moore. How are you, Greg?
I am fantastic, Kim. Fantastic. Glad
So
to
glad
be
to
here.
have you here today.
Yeah. Thank
So
you
what do you
so
want to
much.
talk to us about?
Man, I want to talk to you about all things real estate today. I'm so excited, Kim. I have my You Can Flip Houses Academy actually enrolling right now. Actually starting on April 5th. We are enrolling right now. And that's where I'm going to be breaking down all of the strategies in terms of how to get started flipping houses. And not only that, also for intermediate or advanced people who are involved in real estate, I can show them how to actually scale their business, their real estate business. Now, I've had a six-figure real estate business for a number of years, but now I've been able to scale that to where we're doing now 6 figures a month. And that's what March is showing for us. So we're happy and we're excited. We're ready to teach, train, coach, mentor all of my students. So I just couldn't be happier.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
Greg, you literally started ground zero. Let me be clear. I didn't read a long intro, but Greg started at ground zero with how much did you start with to be able to start flipping these houses?
Actually, Kim, I played in the NFL for the New England Patriots. And in my rookie season, I had a career-ending injury. And all of a sudden, I'm laying on the field and my career is over. I know it's over. And so what I did, and, back then, I played a long time ago. And, the salaries weren't that much. So I took the 80 grand that I had and I bought my first house. I flipped that house and I've been flipping houses ever since. I flipped over 300 properties. And like I said, the month of March, we made over 100,000 just in that month. And that's big for us because it's usually taken us a whole year to do that. So we've been able to scale the business and I'm just ready to teach other people how to do it.
Wow. So flipping houses. I'm so excited about that. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you have a commercial. Let me put this up here too. I put Greg Moore. He is a former NFL player with the New England Patriots. He turned into flipping houses. He's now a flipping houses guru expert. And his contact information is youcanfliphouses.com. He has an actual academy that's starting on teaching people how to flip houses. And I think that everybody, my mom was like, Kim, I think I'm gonna be a part of that program.
Hey,
my uncle, he owns some properties. They are like, everybody's excited about learning through your academy.
Yeah, and not only that, Kim, I mean, the cost, a lot of people have been asking me, well, how much is this going to cost me? Less than $1 a day. It actually comes out to 66 cents per day, right? To join my academy and to get this knowledge every week, you're going to have me live breaking down these strategies, no cap, just all straight knowledge that I've learned over the past 20 years of flipping houses. Not only that, Kim, if you're in my academy and you find a deal, I'm going to partner with you on that deal. You don't have to worry about using your own money. I'm going to partner with you. If it costs for me to spend money, I'm willing to do that. And then we're going to split the proceeds. So I'm ready to get started, man. I've got a lot of students that are excited. So we're ready to go. Now,
here are some images I have. Tell me what we're seeing here.
That's the most recent closing. You can see my daughter Malia there in the picture. That's a fix and flip that I did, and we closed, I think, on the 13th. And that on that particular property, the proceeds were $58,000. One property that we did in Rome, Georgia. So yeah, that's the end of the closing. You see the attorney and the buyer. And her agent, and then her parents next to me. She was just so excited to get the property. Real estate is so hot right now. And I had about 6 offers over asking price within 48 hours of my house being listed. And I had about a dozen people at the end that made offers. But I decided on this buyer. She's a school teacher. Her and a small child living there, so it was the best fit for them and as well as us. So.
Wow. Well, listen, we're talking with Greg Moore, former NFL player turned flipping housing expert. He has a program that you can actually join in on for less than 66 cents a day, pretty much. That's when right. It averages That's out, right. Kind of thing. Yeah. And it's youcanfliphouses.com. Make sure you let him know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you his way so that the show will be able to be recognized as far as our partnership as well. And I'm super excited about this. Tell us, let's see your commercial. You have a commercial too. So I'm going to pull that up. All right. Greg Moore. Can you hear it?
What's up, y'all?
Yes. Yes.
Founder of You Can Flip Houses Academy. Listen, I'm often asked the question, how did you get started flipping houses? Listen, I played for the Patriots in the NFL. In the game against the Browns, I had a career-ending injury. I was devastated, but I used the money from my rookie season. I bought a house. I flipped it. Fast forward to today, and I flipped over 300 properties, man. And listen, I teach people just like you how to do the same. Join me in my academy at youcanfliphouses.com, and I'll see you on the inside.
Yes.
All
right. Wow. Okay, that right there is everything, Greg Moore. I'm excited. I love the commercial. I'm excited about You Can Flip Houses. My mom was like, Kim, you're going to be in the class. I was like, Mom, I was hoping if you be in the class, you was like me in the class because you're going to train me, right? But my mom was like,
y'all all can benefit, each one teach one. So one take the class and then she can teach the other ones. For sure.
I'm excited about it. And I think that everyone watching today, I'm sure you have some level of excitement about it as well. Thank you so much, Greg. Is there anything else that you want to share before I go to the next person?
No, you can reach me on Facebook at Greg Moore. Also on LinkedIn, Greg Moore, and then website is youcanfliphouses.com. You'll find out all the information about the academy in there. And so we look forward to seeing you in class.
Well, I'm excited. And make sure you put your contact information over in the private chat, and I'll make sure we put it up, all of the other different social handlers as well. But youcanfliphouses.com, Greg Moore.
Yes.
And what a tremendous blessing it is to have you on today's episode. Listen, we're going to keep it moving. I want to make sure you know that today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show is sponsored by attorney Charles Everidge with Hunter Everidge Law Firm. They focus on Social Security, disability. They focus on workers' compensation, you name it, accidents that's been wrongful, and now you're in a situation. They're in the Charlotte and the Richmond area. Their phone number is 704-377-9157. Again, 704-377-9157. Make sure you let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you their way. I'm going to pull you over. Is it Travis?
Yes, Travis.
Travis Michelle. I love that name. That is so regal.
It
Travis
is.
Michelle. We're going to come back to you in a brief moment right after this commercial break as I give everyone a chance to learn more about the Hunter Everidge Law Firm.
I'm attorney Charles Everidge. I started out representing insurance companies until my father was seriously injured at work. 4 of his fingers were amputated. Our family went through a lot, so I know what you're going through as an injured worker. If you've been hurt on the job, call me now. I'll fight to get the workers' comp benefits you may deserve. I'll fight for you like family. Put my experience to work for you. Call 704-457-5000, the first call for injured workers.
Hey, everyone, welcome back. And before we go to you, Travis Michelle, let me pull Greg back over for one more second and put your different handlers up here for you. Facebook and Instagram is Greg Moore, and the website is youcanfliphouses.com. Again, follow Greg Moore right on Facebook and Instagram right at Greg Moore and let him know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you his way. I'm excited about that. Okay,
No
Travis
doubt.
Michelle. I can say your name all day, Travis Michelle. How are you?
I am doing so well. How is everyone else doing?
Doing
Doing great.
great, doing great. Let me take a moment because you're again our special guest today. I have my standard experts that come on. Everybody on the show know them and know where their backgrounds and things, but yours we don't know. So let's go here. Travis Michelle is a #1 international that's #1, y'all. #1 best-selling author of Saving Lives While Fighting for Mine. My goodness. She uses her story to help women of color who are overwhelmed during divorce gain clarity and strategy, a plan so that they can decrease lawyer fees, maximize their position while building confidence, empowerment, and healing to live the rest of their life on their terms. Okay, wow. First of all, you're gonna need to come back and she is a divorce strategist. She's a registered nurse with a BSN in nursing from Malloy College and an MPA in emergency and disaster management from Metropolitan College of New York. She has spent time in Israel, receiving certification from IMI Academy for Security and Anti-Terror Training on emergency and crisis management. Travis Michelle has been recognized as an influencer within our global community. Women Hold Up the Sky by International Association of Women. Travis Michelle has also been a keynote speaker at Black CEO, Black and Iconic 2021 conference, featured in Courageous Women's Magazine. She's been on CBS, Fox, NBC, Selfless Love podcast, Courageous Conversations with Cherie, and Everything Authors, Bars and Hoops, C-Suite Radio podcast, and more. And I am so excited to welcome you to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, Travis Michelle.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Wow. So what do you want to talk to us about, Travis?
Well, guys, I am a registered nurse and I hail from New York, but I am a #1, as it said, international best-selling author. And I talk about a woman of color, myself, going through that divorce process, going from a state of powerless to a state of powerful. Now, this isn't the time, we're not bashing men because I love me some Black man. That's not it. But when you're going through a divorce as a Black woman, when you walk into that lawyer's office, it's totally different for us. They don't say, oh, don't worry about it. We'll take the, we'll make an agreement with your husband and he'll have to pay. They want to know your budget. What can you do? They don't give you the time, the attention. And so being a deer in headlights and not knowing what to do, because in the Black community, do they talk to us about that? No, but they can tell us how to have a baby. They can tell us how to be a good wife. They can tell us all of these other things. But when you're going through a divorce, your friends choose sides, your family choose sides, the church acts like, they don't know who you are anymore, and you're isolated. So I don't want any more women of color going through that, because when I was a little girl, my parents went through a divorce, and I'm not a product of a divorce. And I don't like us to think of ourselves as a product of divorce, because we're not fruit. Right? We're not vegetables. We're human beings. We're little kids. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother. I was going to have the perfect home. I was going to have my knight in shining armor. Everything was going to be perfect, perfect, perfect. I put all of that pressure on myself. So when I grew up and I got married, I thought I found my knight in shining armor. Everything was good until it wasn't good. And so then you have feelings of feeling like a failure. You're angry. You're hurt. So what did we start doing? And my mother was one of those, rest in peace, Mom, but I have to tell the truth to shame the devil. But she was one of those that was just, they were fighting, she and my father, back and forth. And I'm not saying who was right, who was wrong, but they forgot all about me. I was no longer important to them. But because my mother didn't have the tools, she just knew to be angry. So how did that affect me? It caused me not to see my father. He paid his child support, but he wasn't in my life. Now, granted, he made that decision, but it made me feel as though I wasn't important. And I've just said, when I get married, this isn't going to happen. And guess what? I ended up going through a divorce. Mm-hmm. And I had to deal with all of those feelings. And I have made it my personal business to help other women of color and other women who are going through that divorce to learn. How do you speak to an attorney? Do you even know what you're supposed to bring to the attorney? Do you know if it's a 30-minute or a 60-minute consult? No, you don't. The attorney works for us. We don't work for him or her. But when we go there, we put all of our feelings, our whole life on the line, and just whatever they say, we think that they're the professionals. We're going to go along with it. Meanwhile, that child needs to see their father. Now, if it's not a dangerous situation, we're excluding like domestic violence. That's totally different. You have to take special precautions for that. But if not, you and him decided to divorce. But it's not fair that the children have to hurt. And I was so happy to hear Vera talking about that, because I said, I'm breaking the generational curse. I'm not going to say my children won't get a divorce, but I'm definitely not going to make them feel the way I felt, that I didn't matter, that I didn't, I wasn't important. So I had to take the high road. And my ex-husband was 32 and a half years older than me. So, he had the money. He was, he had life experience, but I was determined that he was a good father, and he still is, but he just wasn't a good husband. I chose him. My children didn't choose him. I didn't, he didn't have to pay me, for us to get together and make these kids. So he shouldn't have to pay me to see the children, but he should support his children. There's a difference. So I had to make sure that my children were always available to him. I had to flip my schedule sometimes, but doesn't mean I had, I was perfect. I just tried not to call him out of his name in front of my children. And I'm so fortunate that my children are on my IG. They listen to my stories, so they know, and they can back me up, that I worked very hard to never talk bad about their dad. Because when I would sit there and I'm going to talk bad about their father, what does I say about them? Because they're sitting back with, I thought you said you love me, but you're talking about
Right.
that, and he's my father. So going through that divorce, one day, my children looked at me. I thought I was talking to them. And like Vera had that aha moment, they stared at me and said, Mommy, why are you yelling at us? I broke down crying, because I realized then, wait a minute, am I repeating a pattern here? And it snapped me out of that.
Mhm.
And by the end of the week, we were all in therapy so that they could learn what was healthy, what was right, so that I could work on what my past traumas were, so that I could be a better person. And in fact, it made me a better person and even a better nurse, because I was able to really listen and empathize with people. So this is what my goal is as Travis Michelle.
Wow, that is awesome. You're going to help so many people, Travis Michelle. Lives are going to just change because you're giving them the tools and the resources to be better educated. And so you're speaking at a conference that's coming up. Tell us, is this going to be your topic? What can we expect at the level of conference that you're going to be speaking at?
Yes, I'm with Vera. We're at the Level Up Summit conference, and it's April 16th through the 18th. Make sure you guys go ahead to it's time2levelup.com. Grab your tickets. I will be speaking about bossing up during divorce. So I have made that my mission. Everywhere I go, I'm speaking about that. And I wrote about it. So yes, that's what makes me an expert. One, going through it, because you know what? I got my divorce when I was 6 years old, because that's when my mother and father divorced, right? So we don't think about that, but the children go through the divorce as well. So
Wow.
I share my story, and there are a whole lot of other little stories in there, instances, so that women can see what you've been through. He almost ran you over with a car. He called child protection services on you 3 times. You had to have him arrested, but you can overcome that. I'm still smiling today. I'm not bitter. I don't blame all men for what happened. In fact, the best thing that happened is one day he said to me, I need to talk to you. And immediately, my antennas went up. Oh my goodness, what now? And he says, I need to let you know that you were a good wife and you were a good mother. And I apologize for the way I treated you during the marriage. That alone, look, I got to share this with everybody, because you can rise above. Not everybody's going to apologize, and that's okay. But you do not have to come through that divorce battered and beat down. Your healing starts during the divorce. Yes, I can transfer you over and refer you to a nice coach, to continue. But like we do in the healthcare as a registered nurse, as soon as you walk through those doors, our discharge has started. We're starting to educate you. We're starting to shift your mindset. We're starting to give you the tools you need so that you can be discharged, right? So I'm giving you the tools you need so that you can heal. But when you have the tools,
Wow.
you know how to play, because this is chess. It ain't checkers. And decrease those lawyer fees, they can get that from somebody else, okay? Because that's cha-ching, cha-ching every time you go in and you don't have your paperwork correct, when you don't have your answers correct, whether it's male or female.
Wow. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. So first of all of you all, I would just invite you to come and be a guest on the show for a full episode versus just, like a 10, 15-minute blurb or bleep or whatever. Greg, I know you've been a guest before, and you've been a guest, Joseph, and Travis, Michelle, please come back and do a full episode. Do you know how many people that are experiencing this or that have experienced this and they're beaten down and trying to figure out, downtrodden, like you said, they've lost their friends, they've lost their church, they've lost so many different components of their lives that help them identify who was their identity, at least what they associated with as their identity. Now it's like they have to create a whole new self. And so this is crazy. Very helpful information. So please book yourself as a guest, you and Vera, and come back and be on the show anytime. And people are chiming in. All powerful guests. Yes, Norma, all powerful guests. Great show. I'm loving it. The information is awesome. If you're loving the show so much, I hope that you will take a moment to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show, everybody. Let me put it in a different view here. Subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show and turn on that notification bell to all right on YouTube. Make sure you do that, and do that today. It's going into the holiday weekend. You can catch up on some of the old episodes, and you can just binge watch some great guests that have been here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Travis, Michelle, tell us how people can stay connected with you.
Well, you can stay connected with me by my email, info@Trevis, TREVIS, Michelle, MICHELLE.com. You can also find me over on Instagram. That's where I live. I have my lives over there, and you can definitely go into my DMs and we can have a chat. You can go on my easytree.me/Trevis Michelle and book yourself a discovery session with me so that we can see where you are. You can fill out a form and make that time count. I am going to be launching my course on Boss Up During Divorce in May. So I'm really excited about that, because we have to be armed, but we don't have to bleed. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm just so excited. Make sure that you also sign up for the Time to Level Up.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. So I'm definitely going to be a part of that as well. I'm one of the speakers also, but I am super excited about that. And it's a free conference. So make sure that you are in the house at Time to Level Up with the number 2, time2levelup.com. Follow Travis Michelle on Facebook and Instagram at Trevis, TREVIS Michelle, right on Facebook and Instagram for all of the podcast listeners as well. You definitely want to stay connected with this woman of power. And here you are, info@trevismichelle.com. If you have a personal question that you want to ask her, let her know that the Kim Jacobs Show did send you. And wow, thank you so much, Travis Michelle, for being here today. Wow. Oh man, very enlightening information. All right, everyone, listen, we have another quick commercial break coming up, and it is with the sponsor that we have called snowlegal.com. Snowlegal.com is very helpful in providing you with information pertaining to incidents that you may have with work life or work incidents or work compensation or personal injury. He came on and talked about bicycle accidents and motorcycle accidents. Who would even know? This is information that they share through their firm in the North Carolina and South Carolina areas. If you're in either of those two states, they can service you. And let's take a look at their information.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone. Listen, I also offer a 4 and an 8-week masterclass. It's important that you guys know that because I hear some of you that are interested in having your own talk shows or interested in launching podcasts, and people reach out to me very often to find out how they can go about starting a show from scratch. It's like, Kim, I need to know, how do you do this? Well, I've had a show on PBS and I've had a show on the Word Network. So when people are seeing me in this vein, they're like, how's she doing this so well? I've already had shows before on PBS at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio and so forth. So I'm only resurfacing kind of right now, if that makes sense. But in the 8-week masterclass, you're able to work at your own pace. And that's an online course that's already up and running. And then if you're interested in doing the 4-week online master course, that's one-on-one with me. And I help you get everything that you need from A to Z in a crammed fashion for you to be ready for your big launch. So that's whether you're launching a show or if you're just launching some online courses yourself or programs that you just want to get tweaked and know which platforms to use them on. So I'd like to introduce you to this course real briefly, and then we're going to get prepared to close out today's episode. But let me share with you what you'll get in the 4 and 8-week masterclasses. Hey everyone, I'm Kim Jacobs, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. You and I are going to have a great time as you go through this course on how to create your own online show from scratch. Everything that you need to know from A to Z, everything that I know anyway, I'm going to pour it into you. We're going to have a great time talking about what should your show even be called? Who's going to be your guest? How do you identify your target audience? How do you be able to get your studio audience engaged? What type of lighting should you use? All kinds of things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the different platforms that you should use. We're going on this journey together. So go ahead and grab your virtual seats and let's get ready to rock and roll and have a great experience as you learn how to create your own online show from scratch. All right, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. And I've had some phenomenal guests on today: Joseph Wooten, Greg Moore, Vera Thomas, and Travis Michelle. Thank you all for the information that you shared today on this episode. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. So as we prepare to close out, I do want to say, we know that the George Floyd trial is taking place right now, and there's a lot going on with that. You have people that are saying things. And again, thank you so much, Rachel, for these updates. But Derek, let me say this. The young person, Darnella Frazier, 18, who filmed George Floyd video, apologizes for not doing more. So it's some people that are being traumatized from what they feel they could have done differently in this situation. Let's keep the entire trial, the entire incident, which impacted our world. And we can see that regardless of what side you're on it. I mean, we could all see on the camera that a life was taken, right? I mean, that his life was taken right there, right before our eyes. Whatever is associated with why it happened or how it happened, the judge and the jury and everybody will figure that out. But I saw with these own eyes, not on behalf of the Kim Jacobs Show, on behalf of Kim Jacobs' eyeballs, seeing a man's life taken. So I'm asking that we pray diligently for the Floyd family, pray for all of those associated with this situation, for the judge that's going to ultimately have to make a decision, and the jury. And I just wanted to take a moment to say that. And then there's people on the opposite side, the ex-cops saying, are looking on, he was probably on something. There's all kinds of different sides to this equation. Let's keep this whole situation, which rocked the foundation of our country from the root. And so just let's please keep that whole situation in prayer. And I hope that everyone will enjoy their holiday weekend. I believe in Jesus Christ. And of course, again, this is me personally, not the Kim Jacobs Show. So for me, it's Resurrection Weekend. And I'm excited to be able to celebrate the rise of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, obviously crucified and rose again. So I'm excited to be able to celebrate that. And whatever you celebrate and whatever walk of life you have and whatever you hang your soul on, no condemnation or judgment from me. as the host of this show. I love you. I support you. I believe in you. I'm grateful for you that God created you as well. And I celebrate everyone. I celebrate life. I celebrate love. I celebrate unity. I celebrate whatever is going on in your life. I just pray and ask God to give you the best possible outcome that life can bring for you. That's from me, Kim Jacobs, as the host of this show. Okay. All right. So any closing comments real quick? Anybody, you know how you're on a show, Travis, Michelle, and Vera, and you're like, dog, I cannot believe I didn't say this. Say one closing comment each. Then we're going to close out with the poem. Joseph, say your closing comment.
Make music, always find a path forward for our differences.
Beautiful. Greg, say your closing comment.
I just want to first say thank you, Kim. This has been a phenomenal show. The guests were all phenomenal. And I just want to, my last thought for the day is always be learning and master your craft. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in my academy.
Excellent. Excellent. Vera, say your closing comment.
This has been just an honor and phenomenal. And I just want to, like you, lift everybody up in prayer. And like Joseph said, music is the universal language. And we need to show love, just show love in spite of whatever it is we're going through.
Very good. Very, very good. Okay. And Travis, Michelle.
Kim, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your show today. And thank you to the kings and queen also on this show. You know, it's an honor for me to be here with you. But I want you to know something. I want you to have this phrase. This is mine. And it is, dream bigger than your thoughts and let your thoughts be bigger than your dreams. Because I want everyone to realize we do not have boxes, because if you have a box, you can go back to a box. But when you allow your mind to just expand, there's nothing that you can't do. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. And on that note, then what I'm going to do, remember all of the guests, their contact information is in one of the platforms that you're viewing things on today. Here, I have something as well extra to put on here regarding Vera Thomas's contact information. Is all of her different links. Instead of you having to type just one or two things, all of the links are right here in the comments. You'll just be able to click right on her links for classroom management, advocacy, mediation, training, speaking. All of those links are there now. We just posted them. All right. So we're going to remove ourselves from the screen. We're going to close out today's episode with that poem that is geared directly to fathers. And hopefully all of the fathers are on right now. And again, you can start watch parties later. You can make sure that you do this with your coworkers. Sometimes in the middle of the day, everyone's not able to watch, but by the end of the week, it's like over 1,000 views. So I know people do take the replays very seriously. And I thank you for your support on the Kim Jacobs Show. And if you are interested in being a sponsor or supporting the show, I definitely want to make sure that you know how to do that. It's in the comment section somewhere. I don't even know where I put it, but it's in there. Yeah, it's in there somewhere. Make sure you go back and look at it. And I want to make sure, let me say this one more thing, and then we're going to close out, because I thought it was very important that I tell you guys this. People keep asking me, and they're like, well, Kim, how do we support the Kim Jacobs Show? How do we, where do we give and different things? And I have it somewhere, but I can't find it. I got to go all the way back. I know it's like when I got all these comments back here, I know they put in there like 50 times, but then I put all these articles too. So I don't know. Give me 1 second, because I want to make sure we do get a chance to. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up right quick. There we are. Give me 2 seconds here, and then I'll pull it up and say one thing to you. Thank you for playing some music. Give me 1 second. So I'm looking for sponsors, and those that want to know, here is the information. And Greg, thank you for being one of the sponsors. I don't take that for granted. All right. For those that have been asking, because quite a few people have been asking, I am looking on behalf of the Kim Jacobs Show for sponsors to keep our online talk show, Kim Jacobs Show, on air. The Kim Jacobs Show is a place where people can come, share their backstories, get advice from experts in various fields, or just learn some basic balance or life management tips that help people maintain their sanity during this pandemic and the chaos. So I want to continue this tradition with the support that you all may be able to provide. Sponsorships are simply investments into the future that we have collaborated together to continue to help the world by bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. So here are some ways that you can help support the Kim Jacobs Show if you'd like to continue helping the show, whether it's by being a Patreon member. I got Carry On. I noticed you just became a Patreon member yesterday. All kinds of people are supporting in different ways. Whatever way you want to support, here are some ways to do it. I just want to give you that opportunity to every show. All right. We're going to remove ourselves, Greg. I'm taking you off. I'm going to take you off, Travis, Michelle, for a second. And I'm going to take myself off. And when I remove myself, please close us out with your poem and Joseph Wooten playing. Okay. God bless you guys. See you on Monday.
Thank you. Father, provider, protector, role model for a son, the image of the man that will be the husband of your daughter when that time comes. What's best for your children should be concern number one, regardless of the obstacles a father must overcome. The injustices of our society towards many of our fathers can make it hard to stand, but you gotta stand and be a man and a father to your children in every way you possibly can. Demonstrate their worth through you by the words that you say and the things that you do. Don't ever put your children down or call them out of their name. They may become whatever you claim. Lift them up to higher ground. Let their inner beauty be seen, be found. Show them and tell them how special they are. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light to take them far. Show them and tell them how much you really care and let them know no matter what, you will always, in all ways, be there. Pray that our fathers will be guided by the light to lead their children in the ways that are right. God bless you.